Hello everyone, welcome to Sewing Fails. Well, I guess technically I don't know if this is a fail yet, but right now, kind of a fail. I just want to know why I keep accidentally making tops that end up looking like medical scrubs. Why do I keep doing this? What's up? Why? Why am I doing this? This is the latest creation I'm working on. We're not done. The instructions, terrible. The fabric, not easy. It's not going well. I cut this pattern out probably a month ago and it just sat on my dining room table in pieces because I was so pissed off at the fabric. I really want to finish this project. I don't want it to sit unfinished, even though after I did a quick little toss on to see what was gonna happen, I already know there's some fit issues. I already know it. Whatever, it's the usual, it's the standard. I should have done a full bust adjustment even though it is a loosey-goosey shirt. And I probably should have made the arms a little bigger. They're kind of tight. Not too tight because it is a looser style shirt, as I said, but a little bit uncomfortable. And also, Cupro and sweaty armpits, they are not gonna be going well together. I can tell you that right now. And for some reason, my right armpit, she's a sweaty one. Not the left one, just the right. But if my armpits come in contact with this Cupro, that's gonna be a danger zone for me. I need your help and motivation to try and finish this top that I've been putting off for so long. I really love this fabric though, I really do. Nose to the grindstone, finish it. Because really, there's not that much left to do. In theory, simple shirt. I'm just gonna sew the front shut and sew the buttons on because I don't care about being able to undo it, but that's the gist of it. Grown on sleeves, no cuffs or anything. So simple, in theory. So this pattern is from a company that I had never used before. It is a French company. Frick, what is it called? I can't remember. I'll insert the name right here. And I believe this is the Sandalette blouse. I saw a project on Threadloop that somebody had made of this top and I thought, that is so cute. That is exactly up my alley. I love a really easy popover style top and I've been looking for patterns that were kind of blousy without being blousy, if you know what I mean. I'm not into like gathers and frill and, you know, poofiness. So this looked like it was gonna be good. As soon as I bought the pattern, I knew things were gonna go bad. The instructions are absolutely abysmal. It doesn't help that it's like originally French and then just is translated into English. Understanding the instructions is okay, but the instructions are very sparse and they very clearly leave out a lot of steps. So I would not suggest this pattern company for any beginners, that's for sure, because they leave out a lot of steps. Maybe I'm just so used to sewing with like other indie style pattern designers where the instructions are just like top notch, like Helen's Closet. You can't go wrong. You'll never be confused with her instructions, never. So maybe I've just been spoiled. Literally all I have to do is finish the front portion, sew together, press my little thingies open. Oh, I definitely made a mistake in here though. This little line of stitching, not supposed to be there. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to stop like up here at the neck, the shoulder seam. I didn't. It wasn't mentioned in the instructions, so I just sewed up to the whole thing. I don't know why I did that. And on this side, I went even further for some reason. Like sometimes I just make dumb mistakes, okay? It's whatever. I don't think I care enough to take it out because this fabric, Cupro, by the way, did I mention Cupro? As soon as you put a hole in it with your needle, that hole, she's there like forever. Maybe it would soften up with some wash. I'm not really sure. This is my first time working with Cupro, wearing Cupro. I love it. I'm not gonna lie, like I love this fabric, but I need to stop buying fabrics that don't actually fit into my lifestyle. I've gotten better at buying patterns that can be easily made in more casual fabrics. Like this pattern could be made in a much more casual fabric. Give me some linen, some nice cotton, whatever, it would have been fine. Why did I choose a Cupro? A flowy, loosey-goosey, silk adjacent fabric that gets stained so easily. Where am I gonna wear this? I can't wear this around the dogs. They're gonna mess it up instantly. I'm gonna mess it up instantly. I'm gonna be spilling food and drinks all over this thing, left, right, and center. So I guess I've just made myself a going out top, okay? Do I go out? No. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. We gotta get through it. My first hurdle is that I realized I've definitely folded something weird along the front here and it's not like sitting nicely, even though I pressed it in the spot where I think it was supposed to be pressed, but I must have done something wrong because it doesn't sit nicely and it doesn't really match up. And then literally all I have to do is hem the sleeves and the bottom of the top and just sew the front shut and get some buttons on there. Theoretically, not much work to do. Right now, for me, so much work to do. So much work to do. I know I talk about it all the time, but I have just been really struggling with my lupus right now. I can't think straight, and that did not help when I was trying to figure out these freaking instructions for this top. You guys, pressing Cupro is stressful and scary, and it took It took me so much time to figure out what setting to use on my iron so I wasn't like wrecking it and making it dull and like weird, you know what I mean, when the iron does that. So I have my little press cloth here, and that helps a lot. And my iron is on pretty dang low. I think it's supposed to be folded over at this little point here, which then changes the trajectory of this point. That looks, I think, like that's gonna be better. And then I'm just gonna, maybe this is bad, eyeball it all the way down to make sure it lines up. Are you seeing this? Do you see that? You can very clearly see that, right? Did I just cause a bunch of runs in the fabric from serging? That's wild. I didn't know that would happen. But like I said, never used Cupro before. Thank gosh that's hidden inside. My goodness. Looks like crap. We live and we learn, don't we? And we're very much learning right now. Sometimes working with a new fabric for the first time is just kind of a pain in the ass because you're still learning about it. And this one is really nice to sew. I will say that it shifts like a smidgen, but once you get it lined up, it's totally fine to actually sew. But cutting it out, kind of a bitch. Lining up pieces, a little bit of a bitch as well. But like, in like a positive bitchy way, you know? I don't mean that in like a rude, misogynistic type of way. Anyway, let's continue. Looks trim. Man, this sucks. I should really take out those stitches and finish them up at the shoulder. Hopefully that'll look a lot nicer. At least that's an easy fix. Even if it does leave some like visible holes, it's whatever, you know? How nice would just like a big swishy dress made out of this fabric be though? That would be glorious. You guys, also, yesterday, a comment popped up in YouTube Studio and I was like, oh, what's this gonna be? And it was, I don't often get mean comments because thankfully, I don't know, you guys are all cool and chill and thank you for that. Yeah, and I'm very happy for that. But obviously, of course, if you put yourself on the internet, you're bound to get some shit ass comments, right? It just said, stop smiling, you look insane. Okay. All right. Okay. Like, why, bro? I laughed. I thought that was funny. I don't know if that comment's still there. I didn't delete it or anything, but gave me a chuckle. Cupro. Use your Cupro. Look how freaking crooked this is. Sorry if my nails are just absolutely filled with dirt because you got it. I was playing in the garden when I got home from work. Just making sure all my plants are watered. Setting up my irrigation system, which absolutely rocks, by the way. Like slaps so hard. Okay, I think that's sitting much nicer, a little less crazy, but I think I could have pressed like a little bit more open, you know what I mean? I think I'll do that. Probably, maybe after the shirt's done though. So technically at this point, hem the bottom, hem the sleeves, and then sew it closed and put some buttons on. Here's the thing though, don't have buttons. Forgot about the whole needing buttons portion of this shirt. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be wearable, that's for sure. Will it be my top pick? Who knows? We'll find out. Yeah, I feel better about it now that I've pressed this like facing part properly. I did it right. And I probably should have just looked, I should have lined up the pattern with these because I think there is like a break line in the fold. Kind of just like, doot, feel like it wants to be like here. But it's just a press line, so we can still fix it. And I probably will go back and take out these stitches up here so that it doesn't look so sloppy. Okay? Okay, maybe we'll be able to wear this to Mother's Day brunch. The more I look at the pattern instructions for this, the more it pisses me off. Like, obviously, guys, I'm not a professional. I am not great at sewing. It's been only a few years that I've been sewing. So I don't know all of the tips and tricks. Sometimes I need to be reminded of things. I'm trying to figure out how it wants me to hem the sleeves when I'm not doing the cuffed version. I'm doing the sleeveless version. There's no instructions for it. None. For the shirt with the sleeves, it just says fold the cuffs lengthwise. I'm not using cuffs. And pin the seam allowance inside. Hand stitch the cuff with a slip stitch. Do I just like, I've never done a slip stitch. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to Google it. I'm gonna have to look that up. which is fine. You know, I can look things up. I know how to do that. It's 2026. I can Google stuff. And then it just says pin and top stitch the bottom hem in place, 1 centimeter finished. Fine and well, but one thing I want to do is I want to make that like corner where the front of the shirt, when it's folded up and I hem it, how do I make this corner here super nice? Do you know what I mean? I know there's like a trick. I know there's tips and tricks to do that really nicely. It would be nice if the pattern maybe included that instruction. Again, I'm just so used to like the other indie patterns that I've used that are very hand-holdy and tell you everything. I can just look stuff up, I know. It's just kind of annoying when you have to stop what you're doing to go and look up a tutorial about how to do something so that your project's gonna turn out nicely. Is that just me? Am I expecting too much? Am I being a little baby? Please let me know. Today I'm just having a hard day with sewing. I think that's fine though. We'll get through it. Stop overthinking it. Just sew. Just sew, girl. This thread is a perfect color match, and it is kind of difficult to see what I'm doing. Yeah, there's some holes in the fabric, but maybe when we wash it, they won't be as noticeable. Idea. We could always just go over the whole edge with like a cute stitch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have cute stitches on my sewing machine. I have the scalloped edge, the little scallopy one. That could be cute. Well, that task is done. Now I can go back to staring into space and thinking about how I want to hem the sleeves. Well, that looks like crap. What have I done? Oh no. Great. Great. Now we gotta take that out. Cool. Okay, so I tried to just do a sleeve the way I would do a sleeve, you know? I just finished the edge with a serger and then I pressed it up. And then I was like, we'll just stitch it with a really long stitch length. And then hopefully if we have to take it out, it won't be as obvious. And thankfully I did that because it is less obvious with a much longer stitch length. But now I'm still left with having an ugly... Next time I do a project, I should set a timer that will constantly keep track of how much time I am using my seam ripper for. Just for fun, just to see. All right, well, I got all those threads out and now I wallow. Now I wallow. All right, scrap the sewing project. Why sew when you can plant potatoes instead? I just picked up this lovely little package from the post office, and on the label it says potatoes, onions, and exotics. I have never grown potatoes before, and I'm incredibly excited by this. There should be 2 varieties of seed potatoes in here, Carla Rosa and I think Huckleberry Gold. I've already got my potato beds all ready to go, so all we have to do is dunk our hands in them. Theoretically, right? I might have to do some quick Googling to make sure we're doing stuff right. Wow! Huckleberry Gold and Carla Rosa. Here we go. How exciting is this? So the Huckleberry Gold potatoes, I mean, these ones are kind of like dirty right now, but when you wash them, they're purple outside and then like just a regular creamy potato inside. Now this one got a lot of sprouts going on. I think technically we could cut this into smaller pieces, let that dry out, and then plant them. But I think just for my very first time doing potatoes, I'm just gonna plant these whole babies in, and we're gonna see what happens. Look at that, so many there. We're gonna have, hopefully fingers crossed, we're gonna have potatoes. All right, so that's Huckleberry Gold. Here's Carla Rosa, which is kind of like a pinkish potato. You can't tell because they're dirty right now, obviously, but it's a pinkish potato. We got some nice chitting. That's what that's called. I don't like that word. I don't know why. It sounds vulgar. Got some good honkers in here. I'm gonna do a quick Google and then we're just gonna go outside and just shove some stuff in the dirt. All right, a quick Google is giving me varied results. The little stupid AI thing that pops up says for a 30-gallon grow bag, plant 3 to 4 seed potatoes. But then everything else as you scroll further down and click into like Reddit threads or like things on Facebook or YouTube videos, everybody seems to just do that many for like each 4 inches layers of soil. You know what I mean? So what if we just throw the whole bag in? What if we just pop all of the potatoes that I have in? We're just experimenting this year. And like I've said before, it's okay if it doesn't really work out that well. Maybe we get like a couple baby potatoes. That's fine. Hey team. So I was just outside getting ready. I did my research. Okay, I was reading, or rather I watched a bunch of videos. And I think I'm just gonna jam them in there and see what happens, you know? Okay, anyway, so you know when the dumbest things just piss you off so bad? So the one hose that is linked up to my hose link, my retractable hose that I love so much, the ball valve for that in the house has been leaking like crazy. So we have to replace that, but we haven't done that yet. So whenever we have that on, it just slowly drips in the basement, which like not a humongous deal until we get it fixed. But I've been using the hose on the other side of the house. And because I have my drip irrigation set up there now, which is amazing and awesome, the other hose that we have for that side of the house fucking just leaks like crazy, like spewing out, like it doesn't connect nicely even when you wrap, you know, that like tape around it. Doesn't help. I think the hose is just effed. So I was just trying to get that set up because I didn't realize like how bad it was. And I was like, okay, I'll just like use that hose to water my potatoes in and stuff like that. And then I go to turn on the hose and it just sprays water all over my legs. My legs are freezing cold now. Freezing cold legs. And so now I've just decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna use the drippy hose on the other side of the house. It's closer anyway. RIP wet basement. I'll throw a towel down for now. It'll be fine. Little bucket action. We'll use that water to water plants later on. So the drip irrigation is set up and it's super awesome and amazing. I do have a timer for it. However, I have to wait until my next tip payout so that I can buy a little hose extension because I don't have enough ground clearance to do the whole thing plus the timer. The hose bib is already so close to the ground, there just isn't room. So I have to get a little hose extension so I can attach things to that. And yeah, anyway, hose stuff. I'm soaked, I'm cold and cranky now. These are still pretty moist inside considering I watered them so long ago. So let's do our Carla Rosas in this bed and then we will do our Huckleberry Gold over here. I've got some garden tone fertilizer to keep everything happy and fed. I'm just gonna like shove my hand in deep down, put a potato in, and we'll just cover back up. Well, I was trying to space them out really nicely, but I think we're just gonna shove them in now and hope for the best. That's really all we can do. This guy's so wrinkly. Let's see how many we got of our Huckleberry Gold. Look at that freak. Well, I'm just gonna like lay these ones out to get a better visualization of what we're working with here. Because I feel like there's so many more of this one. I think these aren't all gonna fit. This is gonna be overcrowded. I think I should hold 3 back. Maybe I'll give these 3 to my boss if she wants them. Have fun in there, potato. So those are in. Now we'll give them a good little sprinkle with some garden tone over top so it can slowly. I mixed some of this into the beds. Oh gosh. But now this will just help a little bit more. I believe my Benlista was just delivered. Spray, 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 spray. And while we're at it, there's cucumber seeds in here. Let's give these a water. And cucamelons. Cucamelons. I put way too many seeds in here for sure. Apparently you literally just need 1 plant. So I'm gonna have to see who germinates and then murder some probably. Let's cover these potatoes with a bunch of straw. Keep the moisture in because they like it. I have to go run downstairs and turn off the water ASAP. Beep, beep. Beep, 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 doggies. Beep, beep, doggies. Freaking look out, beasts. This is what we're working with here. But you can clearly tell that, like, this is an issue that's happened in the past, I think. And this is our first time noticing that it's leaking for us, so we have to get this valve replaced, which sucks. We're gonna try to do it ourselves, but who knows. So, like, a slow leak. See that? It's not crazy. However, it sprays out when we turn it on and off. Ready? Ah! Welcome to Tara's old house. Okay. I think the doggies deserve to play outside for a little bit now, so I'm gonna do that with them so they stop freaking out. And also, I think my bed list was delivered, so I gotta go bring that in and get it in the fridge ASAP.